Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're still thinking about EV charging as just, swapping a physical gas pump for an electric plug, you're kind of missing the biggest infrastructure shift of our lifetimes. We are witnessing the birth of a highly integrated, intelligent ecosystem. So, let's dive right in, because this completely redefines what it means to fuel a vehicle.
Here's our agenda for today. We'll start with the smart charging revolution, software over hardware, and the financial compounding engine. Then we'll flip over to the consumer side. Walmart enters the chat, rewarding the charging weight, and finally, we'll wrap up with the AI and AV future.
Okay, Section 1, the smart charging revolution, an intelligent future.
The whole premise here is actually pretty profound. The next industrial revolution literally runs on intelligent electrification. If you check out ChargePoint's fiscal year 2026 letter to stockholders, there's this absolutely staggering metric just hiding in plain sight. EV retention rates are sitting above 90%. Basically, what the market is screaming at us is that once somebody goes electric, they stay electric. No going back. So the addressable base just compounds totally regardless of what's happening on the dealership lot on any given month.
A lot of financial models out there are still stuck in the past, right? They're obsessing over counting physical ports, hardware dollars, taking on merchant risk, and crossing their fingers for government subsidies. But the new reality is a totally different ballgame. In this modern ecosystem, every single port out there is actually a highly valuable data node. We're talking about smart energy dispatch, recurring software subscriptions, and keeping the whole operation incredibly capital light.
Section 2, software over hardware. The true value.
I really want you to think about EV hardware exactly like your smartphone. The physical device itself, it's just a vessel. The real magic is the operating system running the whole show. ChargePoint's president and CEO, Rick Wilmer, totally hit the nail on the head here. Quote, ChargePoint is not a charging station company. ChargePoint is a technology company. They build the hardware, the software, and the services, but they don't actually own the charging assets themselves. And because they're delivering a complete tech platform to the asset owners, they take on exactly zero merchant risk. Instead, they make their money on what they call the intelligence layer. This is the cool stuff. Complex energy dispatch, fleet scheduling, vital grid services, demand response, and setting the actual foundation for autonomous vehicles. They are literally selling the invisible brain that makes the physical plug work for the modern grid.
Section 3, the financial compounding engine. The core business engine.
Now, a great software model is one thing, but does it actually pay the bills? Well, in Q4 of fiscal year 2026, ChargePoint hit a record 33% non-GAAP gross margin. That is a massive number, and the key takeaway here is how they pulled it off. This wasn't because of lucky one-time tailwinds. They did this through incredibly strict pricing discipline, a much better product mix, and serious supply chain improvements.
Plus, their subscription revenue jumped 13% year over year to $162 million. Subscriptions now make up nearly 40% of their total revenue. Think about that recurring revenue model we were just talking about. Every single commercial hardware drop locks in a recurring software relationship. It's a financial compounding engine right at the very heart of the business, making the whole model incredibly durable.
You can really see this engine working across the board to improve their key metrics. They managed to slash their adjusted EBITDA loss by 29%. They trimmed operating expenses for the second year in a row. And honestly, this next part is huge. They wiped out over $170 million in outstanding debt. That is more than 50% of their debt gone, which sets them up with some serious financial flexibility heading into the next year. Okay, we've spent a good chunk of time in the weeds here, looking at B2B software and balance sheets. But I gotta ask, what does all this invisible intelligence actually mean for everyday drivers? How does it change your random Tuesday afternoon errand run? Let's pivot away from the infrastructure back end for a second and look at the consumer-facing retail front end.
Section 4, Walmart enters the chat, retail infrastructure. So the retail giant is currently executing this massive infrastructure rollout, and their geographic advantage is just wild. 90% of Americans live within 10 miles of a Walmart. 90%. When we talk about solving public EV infrastructure gaps, especially in underserved regions, Walmart is perfectly positioned to just absolutely dominate this space. Why? Because they already own the real estate exactly where people live.
And they are definitely not cutting corners on the specs either. They've already built out 612 individual charging stalls across more than 75 locations, pushing rapidly into states like California. We're talking serious power too. 400 kilowatt fast chargers running 24 hours a day. And this is crucial. Every single stall features dual cables. They've got the traditional CCS and the newer North American Charging Standard, or NACS connector. By adopting the lighter, more compact NACS right out of the gate, they are guaranteeing compatibility with a massive range of EV models on day one.
But here is the absolute genius of their retail strategy. Walmart Plus members get a 10% discount off the average charging rate of 46 cents per kilowatt hour. Walmart is expertly using EV charging as this ultimate dual funnel. First, it drives retail foot traffic because, hey, you're going to shop while you charge, right? Second, it acts as an incredibly sticky incentive to drive subscriptions right into their Walmart Plus membership program. It is a brilliant, closed-loop ecosystem.
Section 5. Rewarding the charging wait, monetizing downtime.
So EV drivers usually sit around for about 15 to 45 minutes parked while their car charges. That makes them a totally captive audience. Enter a really interesting startup called Renewable, headed up by founder and CEO James Kirk. Renewable is basically the programmable incentive layer for EV charging. Their whole purpose is taking that 15 to 45 minutes of dead time and turning it into an interactive rewards and local commerce experience. Think about it. You're plugged in, you're physically near coffee shops and retail stores, but you probably have zero idea what's actually in walking distance. Renewable bridges that exact discovery gap.
The way it works for the driver is super seamless. Step 1, you just plug in your EV for a verified charging session. Step 2, you open up the platform and instantly discover local merchants and sponsored campaigns right in your immediate vicinity. Step 3, you literally earn cash rewards just for grabbing a coffee or doing some shopping while you wait. The driver gets paid for their downtime, and local businesses get direct exposure to a high-intent, captive audience literally parked right outside their doors.
Section 6. The AI and AV future. The next unlock.
If you think today's ecosystem is connected, just wait until the hardware and software fully merge. ChargePoint literally calls this the next unlock. Because as autonomous vehicle platforms really start scaling up, they are absolutely not going to survive on a bunch of ad hoc random charging networks. A robo-taxi can't just cross its fingers and hope to find an open plug. These vehicles will require deeply integrated AI-managed charging depots that automatically schedule, authenticate, and optimize the charging completely on their own. And we're seeing the foundation being built right now. ChargePoint is partnering up with intelligent power management company Eaton to co-develop hardware like the Express Solo, which is the world's fastest standalone charger. It's hardware and software being purpose-built for AI-driven fleets.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up the explainer today. We've evolved from isolated, dumb gas pumps to intelligent data nodes to retail rewards programs, and now fully automated fleet depots. How will autonomous vehicles pulling up to AI-managed charging depots without a single human in sight fundamentally rewrite the rules of global transportation? The ecosystem is being built right beneath our feet, and honestly, the vehicles themselves are just the beginning. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and as always, keep your eyes on the grid.